Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I have a super cute guest with me today. This is my Kiggy Reiki. I see how it is. But yeah, this video has absolutely nothing to do with him, but he's cute, so why not put him in the intro? Isn't that right? Huh. Isn't that right? Today I am going to be showing you guys how to get this really pretty soft summer look, and I really enjoy doing it. It's super easy. I would consider it to be beginner to intermediate level makeup. But yeah, I had a lot of fun. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. So to start off today's makeup look, I'm going to be using a moisturizer. This is by The Ordinary. It is natural moisturizing factors plus HA, which means hyaluronic acid. I just like to dot this around on my face. Nothing special. You don't have to use a whole lot of this moisturizer. It goes a pretty long way. Also, you can purchase all products in serums by The Ordinary at beautylish.com. That's where I purchased all of my sets of different products from them and absolutely love them. So next I'm going to be going in with a primer. I'm going to go in with two of them actually. One that is a mattifying primer and one that is a moisturizing primer. The primers that I'm going to be using today are the Vitamin Enriched Face Base by Bobbi Brown and the Too Faced Hangover Primer. So you don't really need a whole lot of this. I like to put the Bobbi Brown primer where I tend to break out on my cheeks, and I also love to put it in the T-zone where I tend to be oily. And then I like to go in with the Too Faced Hangover Primer on all of the areas that I did not apply the Bobbi Brown primer. I also like to bring this primer onto my ears a little bit and down under my jaw and onto my neck. Next, I'm going to be applying foundation. The foundation I'm going to be using is Neutrogena Skin Clearing Oil-Free Makeup. This is a blemish treatment with salicylic acid. And the shade of this foundation is Nude 40. And then I will take a beauty blender. This is actually a Real Technique sponge. I tend to purchase these more often than beauty blenders because they're cheaper and I feel like they work equally as well. So then I just take the foundation off the back of my hand and start to dab it all over the different areas of my face. Always remember to bring your foundation onto your ears and always blend down onto your neck. Next, I'm going to be going in with concealer. I'm going to be using Ink Concealer from Club Clio. Be warned, this concealer goes a very long way, so you only have to use a very tiny bit. So I apologize, but my camera decided to die in the middle of me applying concealer. So I'll explain briefly what I did to be able to get my face looking the way that it is. I applied a sparing amount of concealer underneath of both of my eyes, down the bridge of my nose, on my cupid's bow, the tiniest bit on my chin, and then I drew a bit of a little beautiful flower formation on my forehead that And then I just blended it all out with the same beauty blender that I used to blend my foundation. Next, I'm going to be taking Airspun loose face powder. You can get this at basically any drugstore near you. I buy mine from Walmart personally. So what I do is I take a damp beauty blender that is used only for powders. The reason why you do not want to use foundation and powders on the same blender is because the powder can set the leftover foundation that remains inside of the blender when you're done with your makeup, and it can just make it really disgusting and it's not going to last as long. What I do is I have my loose powder here. I take this and I apply a thin layer all over my face. I'm not leaving the powder makeup to sit on my skin for a decent amount of time. It's just for applying it straight to the face and blending it into the foundation. I have used the translucent shade of this before, but the one that I have been using now, which is what this is the shade Naturally Neutral. Now, before I bake under my eyes, I like to take that beauty blender that I use to blend the concealer and the foundation and get any last minute little creases or wrinkles that are underneath of my eyes. Then, as quickly as you possibly can, apply the product. So now I will just leave that powder underneath of my eyes for, I'd say, about 5 to 7 minutes. You don't want to do it for too long because it will make you look very scaly and dry. So now what we're going to do is add those natural shadows back into the face using bronzer / contour to give your face that natural shadowed appearance where it needs it. We're going to be using just the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. I'm going to be using the lightest shade in the palette, which is called Somber. And it is this shade right here. And I'm going to be taking this brush from MBA Cosmetics. As you can see, it is just an oval shaped sort of powder brush, and it is perfect for me to get in the indentations of where my cheekbones meet the lower portion of my face. So I just like to dab into the product lightly, knock off any extra powder that comes off of the pan, and begin to contour this face. It does help kind of like bringing your lip to the side there, if you know what I'm saying. And then you can see this scoop sort of contour line that you already have that's kind of showing through your foundation, and it helps you find where you're supposed to put your contour. I typically like to focus the bronzer / contour up towards my hairline. I don't like to bring it down towards my mouth a whole lot. I like to blend in small little circles to get all of the harsh lines out of the contour. Next, what I do, taking that same color that we just bronzed / contoured with, I'm going to take the color up onto my temples using these small little circles. And this part always annoys me because my baby hairs get in the way. An easy trick to remember where exactly to place your contour and bronzer is to make the shapes of a 3 and an E on each side of your face, depending on which one you're starting on. But that basically just means start here, down to here, and then we're going to take it under our jawline, and it is optional. You can bring it down in the dips of your neck to give you a more defined neck if that's what you are going for. Less is more, because too much bronzer, too much contour is going to make you look extremely muddy, Like you're just rolling around in the mud, you nasty. God, when I said that, that made me miss That's So Raven so much. That was like my freaking shell. That's so Raven. It's the future I can see. So now what I'm going to do is taking this tapered, well, it used to look tapered, now it's kind of not. I'm just going to take this and brush off the bake underneath of my eyes, just very gently. Now what I like to do, now that we have our contour in place, is I take the powder blender with some of that same naturally neutral airspun powder, and I like to place that underneath of my contour line. This really gives it a sharp appearance, but doesn't make it look over the top, so it's still very natural. Again, we're going to leave that on for about 5 to 7 minutes, nothing extreme. So while we're waiting on our under contour bake, I'm going to highlight my face. I'm going to be using the Becca Jaclyn Hill Champagne Pop highlighter. And I'm going to be taking the Morphe M510 brush. This is like my go-to highlighting brush. Amazing. I don't prefer to do anything super extreme on my cheeks. I feel like for someone like myself, it makes me look a little too textured, and I'm not into that. I really like to focus my highlight on the Cupid's bow and a little up under my nose, and then I put some on my chin. And my favorite part, on the tip of my nose and down the bridge of my nose. So now that it has been about 5 minutes, we are going to brush away the under contour bake, and as you can already see, it is just such a perfect, nice little contour line, and I'm obsessed, and I always have been with doing that. It's a go-to trick of mine. Now I'm going to start on my brows. I have recently been using the L'Oreal Paris Brow Stylist Definer, and this is in the shade Brunette. I like to start at the beginning, the most inner part of my brow, and very lightly start simply just outlining the shape of my brow. Then once you have your rough outline, as you can see here, we can just start to fill in, and you can be forceful, not super forceful. So I like to draw little tiny flicked individual lines that kind of just give me more of an appearance of more hair at the front of the brow. Well, hi, love. He says, Mom, why are you only wearing one eyebrow? That's so weird. You want me to do your makeup? He says, no. No. He says, no. Don't touch me. No. So now to finish off the face, I'm going to be using a blush. I'm going to be using a ColourPop blush, and this is in the shade Cruel Intentions. I'm absolutely obsessed with this shade of blush. It is so good. If you have a naturally olive sort of undertone to your skin, this is going to be amazing for you, because A lot of blushes look real scary on me, but this one doesn't. I'm going to be taking the blush on this Delium Tools 988 blush brush. Say that 3 times fast. Bet you can't. Oh my god, I almost forgot! I completely forgot about brow gel to keep them locked in place. I didn't spoolie them either. What the? Julia's losing her mind, y'all. I'm so sorry. I'm going to be using this spoolie brush from Delium Tools. It's a 733. What you're going to do is lightly just blend I'd like to just focus this on the fronts of my brows because everything else I like to look very sleek and sculpted. But yeah, you just want to get that bottom line a little smoother by kind of going in the direction of your arch, and then just brush the product up in the front. And then I like to really get these little hairs in the front to stand up. Reach them to the heavens. Then I'm going to be taking Maybelline New York Brow Drama. I just like to start with the arch, make sure all the hairs are in line, and then you can feather up the front. So today I'm going to be using the Jaclyn Hill palette. So I'm going to start with the 3rd shade on the top line. It's just a light sort of tan beige color. This is on a Royal & Langnickel brush. It just says crease. I don't know if that's the only crease brush they have, but there isn't a number, so we're going with crease. So first with this transition shade, I'm just going to start in the outer corner of my eye very lightly and then work it just gently into the crease. Let's go with this guy right here. He was underneath of the one we just went with. I'm going to, again, work this into the outer corner first. Tiny little circular blending motions. But this time I'm going to go a little less further in than I did the last time with the color, since we want to keep those darker colors concentrated on the outside corner of the eye. Since we have a pretty darkened up crease already, I'm going to just jump in and start darkening up the outer corner. We're going to dip into this guy right here. It's a chocolatey brown shade with some mauve undertones. And we're just going to apply that in the outer corner. We're going to start blending. Typically I like to take a brush that does not have any product on it, just a clean brush, and this is the Sedona Lace 863 brush. I've always loved these pink brushes, they're so cute. And I just like to go along the edges of the color and really blend it and smoke it out so it looks super airbrushed and pretty. So now I'm just going to go back in with this initial transition shade that we used, and this is going to be to blend the inner portion, well, the middle portion of my eyelid to the darkened outer corner. To finish off the tops of the eyes, I'm going to be going in with this color right here. And we're just going to be applying this on the brow bone. And now for the lower lash line, we're going to keep it pretty simple. I'm going to be taking a Royal & Langnickel smudger brush. Again, no number, it just says smudger. I'm going to be taking this color here that we used to darken our crease after the first transition color. And we're just going to lightly apply that on the lower lash line. And to finish off the lower lash line, I'm going to go back in with that lightest transition shade that we used. And then I am just going to blend any harsh lines on the lower lash line. So I'm going to be using the ColourPop Cream Gel Liner, and this is in the shade Exit. So you are just going to gently pull down your eye and run the pencil along your waterline. And then to finish off my eyes, I'm actually going to highlight my inner corners. So I'm just going to be taking a small little brush. This is the Morphe M124 brush. And I'm going to be using my Champagne Pop highlighter again. So just dip into there and blow off the excess. And then I'm just going to lightly highlight my inner corners. So now the last thing that I'm going to be doing to my eyes is just curling my eyelashes and applying a mascara. I am going to be using L'Oreal Paris Telescopic in Carbon Black. So now the last thing that I'm going to be doing is my lips. I'm going to be using two products and they're both from ColourPop. I'm going to start with the ColourPop Lippy Pencil. The shade of this Lippy Pencil is Skimpy. And I'm just going to line the outside of my lips. And then I'm going to be taking the ColourPop Lil Lippy. They're like the mini versions of the Lippy sticks, I believe. This is in the shade Thistle. So now all that's left to do is to set my face with some setting spray. I'm going to be using the Cover FX mattifying setting spray, and let's set. So there you have it. This is the completed look. It's just a very glowy, summery, pretty natural look, and I'm obsessed with it. This is actually a go-to look of mine when I don't want something super ridiculously glam but still really soft and pretty but super nice. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really enjoyed doing this video. This is actually my first sit down, do my makeup in front of the camera, besides the video that I did with my sister where we got ready, and I really enjoyed this. I had a lot of fun and I hope you did as well. So please like and subscribe before you leave, and I appreciate every single one of you and I love you all very much. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!